الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه. We begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to Him belong all praise. We praise Him in the way that is befitting for Him, befitting to His perfection. We worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He's worthy of worship, and He's worthy of worship because He is perfect. And to all perfection, and all perfection is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and anything besides Allah is imperfect. And for that reason we seek isti'ana from Him. We seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us overcome any challenges of life, to help us overcome the evil within ourselves and our shortcomings, and to protect us from the consequences of our own actions. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His blessings and His praise and His salah to the last and final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Imam of monotheism, the one who revived monotheism and taught us, the one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to be the bearer of the Quran. And through his mouth, through his tongue, and through his words, we took the Quran and we take his sunnah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among the sincere followers of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. And be people of taqwa, be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, establish a relationship with Him, one that has been made clear through the Quran and through the Sunnah, and know that there are a lot of benefits, there are infinite amount of benefits of being a person of taqwa. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us one of them. Amma ba'd. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يقول الله عز وجل عما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون. These are the opening verses of Surah Naba, a beautiful and short chapter, and it does us much good to put our mind in their mind, to understand the context in which these verses were revealed. The pagan Arabs of Mecca believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They believed that He was the supreme God, that He is the creator of the universe. He is the creator of the universe, and that to Him we make dua. But they also believed that there were other entities worthy of worship, and they worshipped them. And they would say that we worship these mediaries, these middlemen, or these middle entities, to get us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we are not pure enough to engage with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly and immediately, one-on-one. So we need these middlemen. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَا نَعْبُدُهُمْ إِلَّا لِيُقَرِّبُونَ إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى, saying that the pagans say we don't worship them except to bring us closer to Allah. But Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as the prophets before him, and as we do today, say there's nothing worthy of worship except Allah, all these idols, throw them away. There's no need for them. So this was one of the major differences between the pagans of Mecca and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his companions and us today. And there's a second major difference. The pagan Arabs disbelieved in life after death. They disbelieved in the day of judgment. They disbelieved in resurrection. And Abu Jahl once took bones that have been decayed and went like this and made it into dust and blew it towards Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, قَالَ مَنْ يُحْيِي الْعِظَامَ وَهِيَ رَمِيمٌ, who is going to revive these bones after they become dust? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replies to him in the end of Surah Yasin. So the pagan Arabs disbelieved in life after death. And when Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came and said there is life after death, they started questioning one another. عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ. Started questioning, did you hear Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what he's saying? That we're going to be alive after we die? You see these bones, after we become dirt, we're somehow just going to be resurrected? After we become nothing, how can Allah do that? Who has the ability to bring something out of nothing? And they would question each other. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends the response in the beginning of Surah Naba, amongst other verses in the Quran. عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ. And the way this verse is worded, it's rejecting their claim in a question form. Saying, are they really questioning this concept? They're really questioning this great news of the next life. Are they seriously debating it? Is this really an issue to debate? And telling them that you will surely know the day will come where resurrection comes about. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these verses takes a twist, seemingly goes into issues that have nothing to do with the concept, the premise of this chapter. And then starts saying, أَلَمْ نَجْعَلِ الْأَرْضَ مِهَادًا وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ مَعَاشًا وَبَنَيْنَا فَوْقَكُمْ سَبْعًا شِدَادًا وَجَعَلْنَا سِرَاجًا وَهَّاجًا وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ الْمُعْصِرَاتِ مَاءً ثَجَّاجًا لِنُخْرِجَ بِهِ حَبًّا وَنَبَاتًا وَجَنَّاتٍ أَلْفَافًا. starts talking about the world. But before we go into that, my dear brothers and sisters, please move up. Fill in any gaps so that we can accommodate as many people as possible. Jazakumullah khair. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked after telling them, questioning their own questioning of the concept of the Day of Judgment, the concept of resurrection after death, goes into issues that are seemingly have nothing to do with the concept of the Day of Judgment and resurrection. And says, did we not make this earth like a cradle, a bed? And did we not make the mountains as pegs? And did we not create humans as pairs, male and female? And did we not create above you 7 skies that are strong, that protect you? Did we not create clouds from which rain comes about? Did we not create nighttime, which you stop working and you go to sleep and rest in so that you can regain your energy for the next day? And do we not create a sun that gives you light so that you go about and you work and you're able to feed yourself and bring provisions to your family and do your daily routine? Did we not do all of these things? What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us here? Because we know that Allah is perfect. He said this for a reason. There has to be a link between belief in resurrection and these worldly entities around us. These verses point us to the nature around us, one entity at a time, but also gives us a second factor. And that is what each thing does. So when Allah says we created this earth as a cradle, meaning you find what you need there. You can navigate through this earth, you can build a home, you can make work, you can have a business, you can meet your friends and you can visit your family. The earth is made in a way that caters to us. And the mountains, they're not just an entity, they play a role. And they are pegs, they create stability for the earth so that when it rotates, it doesn't rotate unbalanced. And then these clouds, they come with rain so that these rain comes down and يُخْرِجَ بِهِ حَبًّا وَنَبَاتًا, and provisions, agriculture, fruits and vegetables come about so that we eat. And He points us to the night and tells us during the night, what do? We sleep. So when nighttime comes, the world around us, we no longer see it except very closely. So we no longer are taking all this information in, and our minds are able to rest. Our minds are no longer processing so much information. We can rest now to regain our energy. And the sun acts as what? A light, so that we can use it for our provisions and for work. And the list goes on. What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us? He is saying that, do you think, O human being, that when you look around you in this world, every entity from as large as mountains to as small as mosquitoes has a role to play in this ecosystem? Everything has a purpose. Do you think, O human being, with your uniqueness, you stand up straight contrary to almost every animal? You are able to comprehend and learn, and you have language. You are able to survive in any context, in any environment, contrary to all these other creations. Do you think that everything around you has purpose and you don't? Do you think that Allah created you, O pagans who question resurrection, for no reason, without purpose? That's not the case. So, O my dear brothers and sisters, O pagans of Mecca, when you look at the world around you, it is telling you there is a purpose. And then the chapter goes on and again takes a major turn. And after listing these entities of the world, the nature around us, it says, إِنَّ يَوْمَ الْفَصْلِ كَانَ مِيقَاتًا, that know the day of judgment is an appointed time. It's going to happen. So another turn. Allah starts by talking about the day of judgment, and then goes to nature, and then goes to the day of judgment back again. Why? What's the wisdom? If you just contemplate it a little bit, you'll find the wisdom. And that is, there can be no purpose. There cannot be purpose to life if our existence ceases at one point in time. That without believing in resurrection, that our existence continues after death, there cannot be a purpose. There cannot. And therefore, when we look at the world and see purpose around us, there has to be a day of judgment. Because in order for our purpose to be, in order for us to have a purpose, we need to continue in existence. So know that the day of judgment is coming. It is an appointed time, and prepare for it. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we need to remember the purpose of our life. We need to remember the purpose of our creation. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create a universe that took 14 billion years to reach where we are today? Your creation took billions of years to come about. When you look at an apple that you enjoy, when you eat it, remember the process that it took. Remember that time that it took for it to become an actual apple. That before it was an apple, it grew from a tree. And that tree grew from a seed. And that seed came from another tree. And that tree, and the list goes on, continues, goes back to 14 billion years until it goes back to the one who started it all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember, appreciate the world around you. Because if you lose the sense of purpose, why you were created, it opens doors to a lot of harm. And we have witnessed this today. Depression, mental illnesses, suicide. Where is this all coming from? Where? Why is it that 100 years ago, not even that, the first generation of Muslims here lived like a seemingly different life? How often did the first generation, the uncles and aunts here, how often was it that someone took their life? How often? When did you hear that someone is depressed? They're going through depression. When? What is happening to this world? Now we can theorize and we can research and all that is good. In my own opinion, people lost a sense of purpose. Life is becoming nothing more than a routine. And these verses are telling you, my dear brothers and sisters, that you humans, do you think life is nothing more than waking up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m., having a cup of coffee, eating a breakfast, quickly getting ready, going to work, commuting 2 hours, an hour, 2 hours, working 8 hours to 10 hours, coming home, eating dinner, and going to sleep? Do you think your life is just that? That is harmful to the psychology. Do you think there's nothing more to life than this? Remember your purpose. Allah created you to worship Him. And He created you for your existence to continue. He created you and me and every single human being with a purpose. And that purpose is to meet Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. That purpose is to have a relationship with Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear brothers and sisters, remember why you were created. And that will open doors to a lot of tranquility and peace of mind. Remember that you have a goal in this life. So go pursue it. And remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this goal, this purpose is so important, He sent thousands of prophets and many books so that we can use as a source to look at and seek guidance from. My dear brothers and sisters, remember your purpose in life. And do not live a life that's no more than simply eating and drinking and sleeping. Remember that there's a day of judgment coming, and that is good for us. Remember that there is an appointment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is going to meet us, and that is good for us. Remember that there are goals to achieve in this life, and time is limited. So pursue them. All it takes is 5 daily prayers, fasting Ramadan, performing Hajj once in a lifetime, and giving zakah for those who are eligible to give zakah. My dear brothers and sisters, compare this life to the next. Compare this life to the next. And you will know that this life is very simple, very small, doesn't have much to offer. Kind of like a baby. You know when you have an infant, they find just anything that dangles to be so attractive. It's so amazing to them. And they sit there looking at it for tens of minutes and playing, and it's the most amazing thing. Now imagine those who see the next life, those who have passed on. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all Muslims and to bless them. Say Ameen. Imagine those who are enjoying the pleasures of paradise right now, or parts of paradise. They are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looking at His throne. Imagine when they see what we are doing and compare it to what they are doing. What we are doing and enjoying our homes and our cars and all these trips and tourist attractions and going to Disney and going to Six Flags and Universal. To them, when they look at it, it's like how we look at an infant playing with something that is dangling. Look how simple it is. Compare this life to the next life. This life is limited. We will all pass. There is a day we cannot reject, we cannot deny. One of the facts of life that every single person will die. Some after 90 years. Some after 60 years. Some won't even pass their teens. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us long lives. Blessed lives, say Ameen. Work for the next life, because what's in the next life is far superior to what's in this life. And know that attaining the pleasures of the next life is far easier. It's so much simpler, so much less time consuming, so much less energy consuming than attaining the pleasures of this life. And look at it. You cannot have fun in this life except that you have to get tired. You have to use energy. You want to take a trip. Alhamdulillah, we had Eid, and I'm sure you all went out and you had fun. In order to do a trip, you need to work for the money. And then you need to get in your car, prepare everything, get in your car and drive to that place. And then you need to walk around. And then you need to eat to restore your energy. And all that requires time, and all that requires energy, and all that requires money. And then you go back home. And you're exhausted, you need to sleep. To have fun in this life, to enjoy anything in this life, you have to be tired before attaining it. But when you look at the next life, and what you gain from it, and how you gain it, you find that in order to be a person of paradise, you have to find happiness in this life. You have to find peace of mind in this life to find peace of mind in the next life. You have to live a healthy life before living a healthy next life. So whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you to attain the next life, know that that's in your best interest. Know that in order to gain the next life, simply say Subhanallah, and that gives you a tree. Say Alhamdulillah, and that gives you a plant. Say Allahu Akbar, and that gives you reward in the next life. When you pray your 5 daily prayers, what are you attaining? You come to the masjid, every step is either raising your rank in the next life or minusing a sin. When you go and you come back, calculate that. How many steps do you take to the masjid? And how much are you attaining? My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the Prophet ﷺ teaches us that between one level and the next level in paradise is the difference between the heavens and the earth. And how do we attain that next level? Take a step to the masjid. Take a step from the masjid. Know that getting good deeds in this life is far simpler, far easier than gaining wealth in this life. To tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, what's more important? What's for you? What does Allah want for you? And that is to attain a happy next life. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, happiness in the next life is easier to attain than happiness in this life. Remember the lesson of Surah An-Naba, that you have a purpose, you have a role, you have a goal. That your role in this life is that it's a temporary phase. It is a station before attaining or going to the next life. And the way Allah set up this world is in a way where, in order to be happy in this life, you have to be happy in the next life. In order to truly gain in this life, you have to be tired. To tell you that this is not the purpose. It's not the goal. Whereas the next life, you gain happiness to gain the next life. That is the goal. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, go after the next life. Because when you go after the next life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens this life for you. But when your goal is simply this life, to gain a house, to buy a house, to have that car, just to do this, to attain this position, if that's the only thing on your mind, you will find that this life, this world, is made in a way that will push you away from it, to remind you that there's something better. There's something more important. Now, there's nothing haram in gaining these things, but don't do it at the expense of the next life. And 3 things that we should do on a daily routine, a daily basis, that will give us so much reward in the next life. Number 1, pray 12 nafila rak'ahs in each day. The Prophet ﷺ teaches us, "Man salla 12 rak'ah bil-yawm, buniya lahu baytan fil jannah." That whoever prays 12 nafila, 12 extra rak'ahs in the day, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala builds them a home in paradise. What does it need? What do we need to do to gain a home in this life? What do we need to do? But a home in paradise that's eternal, that doesn't need maintenance, that doesn't need to be looked after, that doesn't go old. 12 rak'ahs in a day. Number 2, follow the Prophet ﷺ. When he says that he does not sit in a setting, in a seating, in a gathering, except that he says istighfar 100 times. That he makes istighfar and repents to Allah 100 times during that setting. That is the Prophet ﷺ. How about us? Motivate yourselves to seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always say istighfar, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Because know that any calamity in this world, any hardship in this world, it is because of some prior shortcoming that person has in their account. So do istighfar, you'll find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the doors of this world for you. As Nuh alayhi salam tells his people, وَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِدْرَارًا وَيُمْدِدْكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا. He told his people, make istighfar and know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send you rain, He'll give you children, He'll give you wealth by doing istighfar. So if you are seeking this life, then make istighfar, you will gain both lives. And finally, number 3, remember the blessings of this life. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala points our attention in Surah Naba to the world around us and tells us what each thing does for us, we appreciate that. And the more we appreciate the world around us, the more happiness we find. The more that we will feel that, man, we have so much. And then this world is opened up to you as the next world will be. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the motivation to pursue next life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us in our next lives as well as this life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us steadfastness in attaining the next life. And by doing good deeds in this life and by teaching us and motivating us that we are for Him and we are going to return to Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep the next life, the day of judgment, death on our minds so that we use it as a motivator. Ameen. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we have a few announcements to make. Dua for Brother Zafar, who is currently recovering for heart surgery. Alhamdulillah, it was successful and we visited him yesterday. He's still recovering, so may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a speedy recovery, inshallah. Also make dua for Salir Bano, I apologize if I mispronounced that, who is the elder sister of Brother Muzaffar, our dear brother, who's currently on life support due to brain hemorrhage. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant her shifa and recovery. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her family patience during their hard times. OCIF's Eid celebrations on Saturday, September 1st from 11 to 4 p.m. here at the masjid. There will be many activities for the children. Admission is free, so participating in the various activities is free. However, food is not free. Sandwiches there are tickets that are outside for purchase, which are $6 for the food, and then $1 for drink. Purchase your tickets outside today so we know how much food to order. The Quran program tonight, there's parents orientation at 5:30. Again, that's the Friday Quran program tonight. Parents orientation at 5:30. My OC is tonight at 7 p.m. Pillars Academy Weekend School Parents Orientation and first day of school is August 25th and 26th, so this upcoming weekend. The Speak Your Mind discussion forum for young adults on Saturday after Asr. Alhamdulillah, it's going very well. We invite the young adults to please join us. It's a discussion based to help engage one another and to learn about interesting issues, inshallah. Reserve your spot at OCIF's December Umrah trip, so whoever would like to do Umrah, the reservation and information is through Adams Travel and the flyer is outside. Build a Home for a needy family in Tijuana, Mexico. It's coming up, inshallah, on October 20th. We are still looking for a few more volunteers. Visit the office for more information. We have our friends from Divan Bank who are outside. It's an Islamic bank, Islamic options for community members who are looking for information for financing, financial opinion or finance opportunities and options for residential, commercial, and investments, mortgages, and etc. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless them in their efforts. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات يا رب العالمين. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive the believing Muslims. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive them and grant them forgiveness in this life and the next life. أقول قولي هذا وأقم الصلاة.